Good morning, good morning. We are off to the cinema again to see another film. Is this one going to be a decent one, like Miles Morales? Or is it going to be an absolutely abysmal one? Probably, because it's a Transformers movie about brown and black people, according to the director. Whoop-de-doo. Did you see what they did to Wheeljack? Come on, man. Will I be pleasantly surprised, or will I just be... my confirmation bias shines through? We think it's going to be cheap. The reason why I'm so pessimistic going into this film is because I actually really enjoyed Bumblebee. Bumblebee was a good film. They actually got it right, not just the aesthetic of the Transformers for the most part, but they also got the character right. The character, the female character, she was sympathetic, and you actually really felt for what was going on. It felt, because it was in the 80s, more true to the G1 form as well. But it was just a reset. Everything I've seen about this movie so far, trailer-wise, interview-wise, there's just been a cluster. The director talking about the racial aspects of the human characters. We all know the human character is the worst thing about a Transformers movie. But again, we seem to have reverted back to these terrible Bay models of the Transformers and just left the Bumblebee ones alone, which were actually looking decent and looking more like the recognizable Transformers that we know and love. So it seems like, once again, someone has got their idea and they want to stray from it because they think they're going to improve on it, and they're not. So yeah, I'm going in very pessimistically, but I went in pessimistically with Miles Morales, and I actually enjoyed Across the Spider-Verse. But somehow I don't think lightning's going to strike twice in this instance. Just arrived at the cinema. We're just about to walk in now. We're late, 15 minutes late, so we're going to miss some of the adverts and trailers. Oh dear, what a shame. Oh, I don't want to do this. Yeah, bring me this. All day, every day. The good news is I've forgotten my glasses. So everything on the screen is just blur. It's okay, man. Alright. Well, that was a sack of shit. Jesus Christ. Oh man, I've never wanted to leave a movie so quickly. As soon as the first credit hit, I was out of there, just straight out the fucking door. My mate had to call me back because there was an end credit scene, which also was fucking wank. But we'll go through it when I get back home. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. One thing I don't regret about today is going outside. What an absolutely beautiful day it is here in the UK, particularly in my part of the world. However, to go out and see this film, holy crap, if you could have called any film based off what the trailers were like, I think this is the one. I thought the trailers were both appalling. I couldn't see any redeeming features to them. So coming today, I wasn't expecting a lot, which is just as well, because guess what? I didn't get a lot.
Prime. This is about the fate of all living things. Unicron is coming.
Let's just get the few positives out of the way first, because to be honest with you, there isn't many. Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, always a pleasure. You'll always be a legend, sir. did his best with what he had. There was one decent fight scene outside of the museum, I thought. The end credits. Let me get some of the ranting out of the way first. The director, Steve Capel, said that this was a film about black and brown people's stories. He's full of shit. Unless, of course, the stories of the black and brown people in the film were that of being perpetual victims. Every single solitary one of them was a victim. The young boy had something physically wrong with him and couldn't afford the health care. The older brother was unable to get a job because of his unreliability, which he took it as my skin color. His mum couldn't pay the bills and was struggling. The museum intern was just that, an intern talked down to, and you'll never guess what color all of these people's bosses were or medical physicians were. Of course they were all white, because that's the only fucking story Hollywood ever has to say about black and brown people, is there are perpetual victims. Get over yourself. For some bizarre reason, they seem to think we're the people, the audience, by the way, that have been casting Hollywood all these years. No, you want to get uppity, you want to point fingers, turn them back on yourselves, turn them right back on your industry, because those are the racists involved here. We just like good, fun storytelling. And unless you can come up with a better story than black and brown people are victims, guess what? You're always going to be fucking victims. So it's going to surprise absolutely none of you to discover that his characters were as two-dimensional as they could possibly be. They were flat as pancakes. Never have so many words said so little when it's come to character development. And with a vastly reduced roster of Autobots because of the MaxiPadcons and the Terracons in this, again, there was surprisingly little development other than the Autobots are now exceedingly selfish and don't care if planet Earth has to be sacrificed for them to get back to Cybertron. It makes absolutely no sense. The story made absolutely no sense. There were plot holes so big, Unicron could have fucking fallen through one of those and eaten Earth. And don't get too excited to see Unicron, because you pretty much saw all of him in the trailers. And if you are a fan of the Transformers, prepare to be sorely disappointed. Mirage, for some reason, is a Porsche 911 of this. Yes, we saw that in the trailers, but of course we all know that it was Jazz that was the Porsche 911. And considering Jazz doesn't get killed until Transformers the movie, and this is set in 1994, then why is Mirage Jazz's car?
I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
The frustrating point is that he actually transforms into the F1 car for a split second, and that looks really cool indeed. And it would have been very different and interesting to have Mirage as the F1 car, just put some sort of cover over the cockpit for the guy to drive, and have Jazz. Or just have Jazz instead of Mirage as the Porsche, which would have made even more sense. But why am I talking sense? Wheeljack, for goodness sake, for some reason, was a VW van and Peruvian. 'Cause reasons. And he wears glasses and looks like an absolute twat. A film can only be as smart as its writers, and the writing is absolutely abysmal. From the script to the lines to the character interactions to the story to the plot to the conclusion, it's as generic can be, and you can take either one of the trailers that have been released, cut some scenes into a different order, and guess what? You've seen the whole movie. There is so little to it. How on earth did it go on for over 2 hours? How can you be in Peru and have such bland cinematography? I just don't get it. Even if you're trying to pretend you're in Peru, At least make the environment, the vistas, lively and beautiful as it is. But no, we get one establishing shot of Machu Picchu, and then it just goes just like everything else. The sound, generic. The sound effects, generic. The fight scenes, generic. Particularly the final one where the Terracons, not Decepticons, no Decepticons, the Terracons literally fire down a generic army of the same little spider machines and scorpions. You have so many Transformers at your disposal. You put Terracons when they're Decepticons, you put MaxiPadcons, you put Autobots that aren't the right cars, and you think you're doing a better job, a good job? This was trash. Garbage. Generic shite. Not even worthy of a popcorn movie. I just wanted to get out of there. But as this movie's just made for kids. If I was a kid watching this, I'd be insulted. The 1984 cartoon had better character development, and they were 20 minutes long. And if the director, who by the way is a complete phony, truly wanted to tell a story about brown people, then why didn't he substitute Mirage and put Trax and put Raoul in the film? And then you could have actually had a brown, authentic 1984 character that both the lovers of the original Transformers movie would have totally got behind. But no, you had to virtue signal to your Hollywood friends so you could all go into your major circle jerk together, when I knew full well that this movie would have fuck all to do with any of that bollocks that you were saying, and judging by the trailer, was set up to be a pile of crap, which is exactly what this is. Transformers Rise of the Beasts, 3 out of 10. And I'm being generous, because Peter Cullen, you are and will forever be the man. But I will never see this film again. No, sir. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now. In 2 hours, basically nothing. Oh, don't say basically.